Okay, y'all, I got the Stator installed. Camera issues. I found my other clip for this. And the only thing I really, this kind of came off whenever I put this in here. I don't know if this is it's supposed to be some kind of guide or it's supposed to like keep the cabling in. It seems really odd. This came off right here. My manual's not showing this deal. And so I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. There's only one little bolt. But what does this do? I mean, it doesn't seem to smash it all the way down. Really not sure what to do. I think it's clear of the flywheel. So does it kind of sit like a guide? Sits over to the side? That's another thing I don't know. Otherwise, this is all ready to go back on. This is another thing that, like, this sits down. It's all part of your starter. And they just showed, like, this one wave washer that is on top, which is really odd. And, I may have to get some compressed air and blow this out before I do anything. I've cleaned the rest of the housing out, and this, for the most part, I've cleaned up. This is still, like, here, I don't know. I may have to, like, put the flywheel in place and then just kind of make sure it's not touching anything, it's not hitting anything. Blue Loctite, these 4 bolts, or 3As. I don't know. I got my coffee. I'm not even started. There's the old Stator. So it's got like these 2 charged, I think these are like charged coils. Well, we can see how like this is pinched down and then this is pushed up. So maybe, that piece has to go down on there like that. I'm not sure. Seems kind of odd. Flywheel's in good shape. I don't really see anything, I'm going to just take a rag and see if I can't clean these up just a bit. Otherwise, pretty good shape. That's what I figured we have to do with the clip. Now, this rubber piece does not want to go all the way down. And it's the way they've designed this. But this, I guess, protects the flywheel from hitting this this loom. And there's a little, I don't know, it's like a little groove where this cable comes up and it comes out here. So I'm gonna try to get this a little better, but I don't know what to do about it. I think that once we get the plastic on there, it'll go down some, but I think I do, I don't know. And then I got my gear in for this starter, your pinion gear, and in the diagram they just show this wave washer and this little bushing, and that's the way that's supposed to go. And I thought about, shouldn't I put some like lubricant in there, some grease, and I'm debating it because if this is supposed to be optical, you don't want any dirt or debris getting up there on top. I did blow it out, took a rag, cleaned it some. So if I put some lubricant in there, it's going to attract some grease, and then we got a problem. Now that bushing on the bottom is kind of loose. We can see that it would go on there, but it really is a kind of a terrible design because this this rubber washer, a rubber grommet or whatever you want to call it, just does not want to sit, you know, down in there. But I think, see how that's not a whole lot of pressure. So I think when we put, you know, put this cover back on, that it'll be all right. Okay, so this stuff is not going to get all into the optical sensor or anything like that, but I think especially around here, like just right there, you know, I'm just gonna, you know, not liberally, but just put a little on there. It'll keep it from seizing up. So here's our flywheel. Wiped it out pretty good. This one's kind of funky because you have to kind of set it in here like so, and at a certain point we're going to have magnets that are really going to pull it down. So we didn't have our line. I guess this is our keyway line. It kind of lines up right there, so we're off, of course. So now I have to pry this back up because that's not right. All right, you can see that I didn't know that this kind of alignment tab, it's got to be over here. So now I'm gonna have to pry this back up. And this is the way I had to get this off. So there's another guy with a video, and he's like trying to pull with a puller and everything. And that's not what you do with these flywheels, because they have, like I say, they got these 5 bolts. Come on. So that's what I mean, like you barely pick it up. I just set it back down on there. Once you loosen the 5 bolts, it's just a matter of getting it pried up here. Honestly, if I could just turn it. Maybe get your fingers in here. See, now I gotta switch to something like this. Alright, let's line up our alignment tab this time. There we go. Alright, so now we got our 5 bolts we gotta put on. And then I got some Loctite. And I've got a little thing to get them started. Let's get them started. I'm gonna impact them down. And I'm sure that this is like, I don't know, 14 or 20 inch-pounds. I don't know really what it is, but I'm gonna go opposite each other. So now we're just ready to put this cover back on. I think first, just move it maybe back and forth. Just make sure you don't have any kind of, like it moves freely. So you're not like touching the new stator that we just put on. When I'm done, I'll clean up this optical sensor. But it looks, okay, so here's where their bushing is gonna be for this, you know, for your starter. And then, yeah, it's pretty simple. Well, we're just gonna do like this. Set this guy down on here. Should just go down real easy. And then, once you got it nice and taut, we're gonna get all our screws, which were these. These didn't have any Loctite. And these, I don't think you wanna use an impact on because it's plastic. So we use a ratchet and just kinda hand tighten them. I guess I should look in my manual, see if there's some sort of torque spec for these, but I don't think so. But yeah, of course they had to use like a bunch of these. So kind of retarded. It's not kind of retarded, it's really retarded. Oh, so this one's, yeah. So yeah, this is fine because that side, it pushed that rubber grommet actually has a little bit, I guess, a play, like there's a little bit of play in the plastic piece. So just get these all snug, I guess. I don't know. I might use my impact just to kind of run them down. So I have to sit there and do all of these bolts. Or I can just do this. I don't know what I'm thinking. Because I really don't want to run an impact, but we can do like this. I'll just have them snug first, and then I'll come back and... Yeah, those starters, like, it even says it right here, warning, do not engage starter with flywheel cover removed. It's because it's one of those with the bushing and all that. Like I said, I don't like that design. I don't know. I wouldn't buy this engine. Like, if you have a boat that's coming up for sale and you're gonna go buy a boat and it's got this engine on it, I would steer clear of it. First of all, it's got plastic carburetors. So yeah, I don't think there's any tightening sequence. I mean, we can go back and forth, but I think just as long as it's snug. I mean, you can, like, by hand do almost, what, 10 inch-pounds? At least. It's probably a good Google question. How many inch-pounds can the average human do? I guess everybody's different, so there's no way to really say, well, I can do this, really. All right, so now I'm going to get something to clean this whole sensor area out. And I'll just use some, like, I think it says denatured alcohol. Take some cotton swabs and clean that all out. All right, we got everything all back together. You know, I need to time it. So we'll check this again because this is the new power pack. We'll make sure that it's still got spark. So I put the ignition to the on position, and then I've got a remote starter here where I could come back and I can look at this. So the only way to really remote start is to take the, you know, your pieces, your chaps, if you will, off. But well, let's just see what happens. All right, so that, in the very beginning when I talked about this the other day, I said I believe that the power pack was not our problem. However, we got a new power pack. And a lot of times what you want to do is you want to use like if you're changing a stator, you kind of really want to change the power pack. All right, so now I'm gonna hook up my timing light. I don't know if I need to get up in the boat. I don't know if you can see this or if I can even see it. We're gonna try to shoot it from down there. I've put this now in wide open throttle, or what you call forward gear as far as they go, because it's written on here we want 20 degrees before top dead center, and that's what we're looking for. So just to make sure we got our timing light happening, I'm just going to do like this. I got my little step stool over here where I can kind of step up and maybe point this timing light and see what we get. So our key's on the on position. We have to have a remote start in order to do this, because it won't work if you. Anyway, we're going to do this. So yeah, that's showing like 30 degrees, and I think this little screw is what we got to adjust to get this right. So I found the right head screwdriver helps a lot. So that's our most wide open, and then of course this would be more. Let's see if this gets our adjustment to where we need it to be. Doesn't seem to me like it's moving a lot. So I'm wondering if we have to adjust somewhere else, or if we have to adjust this with this screw. I really don't know. See, that's not even moving this. I don't know, because this is not even moving this. Now we have this screw. It looks like we got low and high. So high would be here. I don't know. I'll try this again and see. So how do we get back to 30? Do we move this? I don't know. And I mean, I could try. I don't know how I would do this, because you need 3 hands to move it forward or back. All right, so do we adjust our throttle and get it more right than what they have it? But yeah, 20 degrees before top dead center. And I'm looking at this right now. So it's 4, 3, 2. So what should be over here. And it's a little hot, if you ask me. So I don't know what to say. Do we adjust them by these 2 little clips? I don't know. I guess I'm going to read the manual and see what it says about adjusting the wide open throttle position, because I think that's the first thing, is we got to get this to 0. So I don't know if this moves, like this piece moves. And what does this mean, high and low? Because obviously this doesn't move. I mean, hey, let's screw it. Let's go for this. Now, does this move? Oh, it does. Okay, let's see what that does. And that says less, so I don't know. So it's 30. Okay, so we're gonna go back with this to where it was. That doesn't seem to be adjusting anything. And I think what we're gonna end up doing is probably, you know, taking our cable off and adjusting our linkage on our cable. It's kind of a detent place, man. This is really kind of funky. You almost have to have two people to do this properly. So I'm guessing this would be the proper location, like if it was wide open throttle. I don't know. I'm sure it'll come to me in a minute. And we're still at like 30. I'm thinking about this. We really should move. This is what this means. I bet you have high and low. So let's see if this will move. So that's even farther. Let's see if we go all the way to here. Now we're getting closer. So is 24, 25, 20 degrees? I think so. I bet it is. Because we're out of adjustment. I think this has just got to be tightened down. I don't think that this does anything. Like this doesn't move it. This doesn't move it. Like this doesn't move anywhere. And then we'll have to set the low portion of this once we get. And this, all this does is really have to do with your butterflies where it's synced with the carb. So I'm thinking that like right there is where it's gonna be. That's like wide open. And I think that's where the wide open throttle is. Let's see what happens when we go back to neutral. Because right now, and it's right at about 24 degrees, so I think that's where we need to be. And now we'll just look at what this is at idle, which I think is 2 to 4 degrees. Okay, so it didn't come back. This did not go back. Oh. All right, let's see what this is. I mean, it's almost dead on top, dead center. So I think, I don't know that this needs to move any. Let's see if it, let's see if our low changes some. Whoa. Well, let's just see where that's at. Yeah, I think that's more like it. All right, well, I've adjusted my cable and I've done my base timing and my advanced wide open timing. Now we're just gonna see what happens. Throw some spark plugs in it, see if she'll fire up and run. One thing I noticed that we don't have a horn when I turn this on. So that's, if this does like it's supposed to, and I have to keep, because my thing, I keep having to repair this, so this may take me a minute. Get off of there. Spark plug boot out number 1 is kind of messed up. forgot this thing really likes to pee good. So I get a little bucket over here so I can catch the extra water. I'm sure we're fired on all of them. Seems like we got a little bit of a best fire. Alright, well, that's a change. So that one's fired. Okay, that one's fired. That totally killed it. I don't know, they all seem to be fired. So probably I know what is going on with his. So the computer thinks there's no oil. So I just looked at it, and on that dash, when it's running, it says no oil. So we need to just look at that, because he mixes. Does he mix his gas? What does he do? I don't know. It took me to here to figure this out. Yeah, so the oil tank has been deleted in this one. And what's happening, and the reason that he was probably, this is the reason all along why this thing was going into what I would call a limp mode, is because on his, oil tank normally would come, like he'd have a tank somewhere, and you just follow it, and there's a connector. It's got to the, I don't know where it's at. I had to look, but I'm pretty sure somewhere down here in the front is going to be like a low oil alarm that goes to this pump that's in the front. But essentially, this is a type of fuel pump with an oiler. If I follow his lines, I'll find that probably there's 2 lines, but the oil tank is completely missing from this. Yeah, so there's a fuel line, and then we got our oil line somewhere that's been deleted, which is fine. It's fine. The I guess the really big issue is that when they deleted this, they didn't really, that's why they disconnected the horn, because it was just going to go off all the time. So the moral of the story is, if you're going to delete the VRO, make sure you unplug it so the computer doesn't think that it's out of oil. Thanks for watching.